So hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. And tonight's ride, we're on our last final ride on the Bonneville T120. Sad to see it go back tomorrow actually. It's been a wonderful machine to have. Just put it through its paces on real roads and get a real opinion of the machine itself. So stick around, stay tuned, and I'll fill you in on my final thoughts. So it's a lovely Monday evening, blue sky. Hopefully that good weather that we had a few weeks ago is coming back. So I'm just heading out using the last bit of time I have with this bike before it goes back tomorrow. So the bike's got that much torque low down that you can just leave it in third gear on these back lanes and just roll in and out of the throttle. I have got it just currently in rain mode, and I put that on yesterday coming through town. So on the road setting, the throttle was a little bit jerky just in first and second gear, just in town, just at slow speeds. So I popped it into rain mode and it solved the problem. So still in rain mode currently, but when I stop I'll put it back into road mode. But the throttle is smooth, beautifully smooth from Triumph, and I'll be really sad to see this bike go back. And it kind of makes me really think now that I should be getting a Triumph Bonnie for that second bike. Now there's one other bike that I need to test before I make up my mind, and that's the Speed Twin, the new Speed Twin that's hopefully coming, I think they said late September. So I'll do a ride on that and then I'll make my decision, but I think definitely one of these must come to the garage. Such a fun bike. And such a wide range to suit everybody. So we're just down at Glasson Dock near the marina just here, and you've got the Lockkeeper's Rest snack bar. Always good, always a few bikes pulled up there. Always nice to get down here, right next to the ocean. It's funny, you've got the canal network that comes up to here, and the actual harbour is a canal harbour and a sea harbour. So I'm just going to get a view, pull up near the sea just down here, and then I'll walk you through what I think of this bike. So the stunning Triumph Bonneville T120, what do I think of it? Well, it's been an incredible bike to have for the last week. Somebody asked me about the tyres, and the tyres are Pirelli Phantom Sport Comp. So Pirelli Phantom Sport Competition are the tyres. So even though the bike's heavy at 236 kilogram, it's really nice to ride. The weight's low down because it is quite a low bike, and you don't really feel it. It flicks through the corners lovely. So there's a few things I like about the bike. The engine is one of them. I think the engine is absolutely superb, as with all the Bonneville range that I've ridden recently. This high torque engine really is awesome. You've got lots of torque low down and all through the rev range. Not sure on the paint schemes that they've done this generation. You've got the red, and this is the blue and silver, and then you've got a jet black, and also they do an all black version of this, which if you look on the Triumph website, it comes, and basically you've got all black exhaust, black engine covers, pretty much blacked out everything. That's the one I actually like, funnily enough. Somebody made a comment how they've ruined it because they did an all black version, but I think the all black version is lovely, and I think if you were to put the accessory seat, the brown quilted leather seat on it, I think it would look awesome. Suspension wise, having ridden this for a week around all of the Lancashire back lanes and a bit of Cumbria, I think the suspension, with it being non-adjustable on the front and only preload on the rear, I think that the suspension is fine, perfect for this type of bike. Doesn't really need adjusting, and if you're taking a passenger, just adjust the preload on the rear shocks. I like the headlight with the DRL in the front. I think that looks really cool. It's nice as a daytime running light. It's bright enough. The indicators, these are non-LED, and you can get LED versions on the Triumph accessory store. The mudguard, obviously this comes with the black with the Triumph embossed bracket on, which looks kind of in keeping with the bike. Obviously it is water cooled, so no issues with overheating or anything like that. And while I've been in town actually riding through traffic, I've not actually noticed the heat coming from these pipes too much on my legs when I've been sat in traffic. But the bike is actually thin enough that we can actually filter as well. Foot pegs are really comfy. They've got these rubber pads on, a nice and comfy seating position, and you've got rear pillion pegs as well, and they come as standard on the bike. You don't have to add them. So on Switchgear, I had a gripe on one of my other videos. So I think it was the Street Triple RS that had a indicator button that was like a micro switch, and this one is the traditional, plenty of movement in and out. So if you've got thick gloves on, it really is a nice indicator to press. As with all the buttons, they're pretty spaced out. You've also got the cruise control, which I think is really, really good. Single press for on, and then single press for set at a speed. And basically that works well. I tried that on the motorway. And then your information button. I don't know if you can see the clocks just there. On the left LCD you've got the information, and then on the right LCD you've got the fuel gauge. It's a cracking fuel gauge, and then again I love how Triumph put how many miles you got left in a tank. I think that's a really useful thing. I think with some of the latest LCD screens you can actually go a little bit overboard on. So I love the analog clocks for the miles per hour, and the tachometer on the right just there. I think they're really, really classy. For me, I'm not a lover of chrome, so the all black version comes with black bars, black mirrors, black indicator stalks, black surrounds around the clocks and things like that. So when we buy a new bike or a bike second hand, we always try and tailor it towards ourselves anyway, so we change a lot of things. One thing I do like with Triumph is that every bike I've tested so far has a adjustable clutch lever, which is really good. I'm not a lover of aluminium clutch levers, by the way. Much prefer them black, but there's plenty of aftermarket ones, or Triumph do some on their accessory store. The rear end of the bike, does it need a tail tidy? Not really on a bike like this. You've got LED tail light, you've got the standard indicators. You could put LED indicators on. You can get a tail tidy for these to shorten the rear end up a little bit, but I think it just looks in keeping with the actual motorcycle itself. So I do like the rubber tank pads on the sides, and my knees and my inner thighs fit against those perfectly, so they're good. I do like those. The rear brake lever is in a good position. I did have a whinge on the Street Triple about the gear lever being too far over to the left, but on this bike it's perfect. Totally different bike, of course, and I understand on the Street Triple why they've made it to the left a little bit, mainly for the track. So gas cap, it's pretty in keeping with the style of bike. I do like the Monza caps though that they put on some of the Thruxton, and also on the Speed Twin you also get a Monza style fuel cap. So yeah, what's not to like about the bike really? It's an absolute gem. I will miss it, and sorry to see it go back tomorrow. Brakes on the bike are adequate. They've got Brembo brakes with twin discs on the front. You heard the spec in the last video. And if you haven't seen the last video with the first ride and spec, head over to the video on the channel, and I'll put a link to it just here in the corner. So somebody asked, would I prefer this over the T100? Obviously the T100's got the 900cc engine in, and this is the 1200cc. Personally, I think the T100 with the 900cc motor would be a better all-round bike. I think this 1200cc is great for, you know, going up the motorway and longer journeys. If you were touring on one of these, then I would suggest the 1200. But if you're just using it for, you know, the roads in the UK and the odd trip here and there, I think the 900cc T100 is an awesome bike. So I would probably go for the T100 if I had the option between this and that one. But clearly I haven't ridden the new Speed Twin yet, so I think that will change my mind with it being more modern with the upside down forks this year on that model. So let's get back on the bike, take it for its last spin, come along for the ride. So we're just near the sea just here. You can see the estuary just there coming in, and then the horrible Heysham power station over the bay just there. So yeah, let's get going. So you can probably see the new Revit jacket that I've gone on, as I did in the first ride video. Really happy with it, and I'll put a link to where I got it from. I think it was Get Geared in the description below. That's the Lock Keeper's Rest that I mentioned before. Popular spot with bikes if you're ever up this way, down by the marina at Glasson Dock just here. So even though it's a heavy bike, it actually turns in really nicely. Just leaning in, point it to where you want to go and open the throttle. Perfect. Now I've been pleasantly surprised actually by all of the Bonneville range. So when I first cocked my leg over the Street Twin down at Triumph HQ, within the first mile I was quite surprised really, as I've always been quite a modern bike fan and not really into the classics, but I don't know whether it's an age thing. I don't think it is. I think the modern classic era of bikes now is becoming a lot more hip and a lot more cooler to ride. You only have to look at some of the cities like London with all of the old cafe racer style bikes coming back in. And I think Triumph are really poised to take advantage of that market, as they've got such a lovely classic Bonneville range that has been around since 1959. Yeah, you're doing something right, Triumph. Now, if I didn't like anything about the bike, what would it be? Well, firstly, like I mentioned, I'm not a lover of chrome, so if I was to purchase a Triumph, it would be probably the black series or the graphite colours that they do, where there's very little chrome on the bike, if any at all. What else don't I like about the bike? Really silly things like mirrors, but you know, you can get the bar end mirrors. I didn't show you underneath the seat. There's not a lot of room under there for anything, to be honest, but there is a USB charge port. The charge port could then be used to run, I don't know, a wire into your jacket to charge your phone, or you could use it to run a cable up to a phone charger if you had something like an SP Connect phone mount on the handlebars. While I'm on the subject of SP Connect, if you haven't seen any of my videos on my Yamaha MT-10 SP, I always use my phone on the handlebars, mainly with a SP Connect phone case and mount. It's a vibration proof mount, so you don't get any issues like you do of old, where the camera on your phone actually disintegrates. It's all sorted now. So I think they're probably the best made phone mounts around. Check out the description below. There is a discount code as well in the description on the link that I've put, and that's all down below, guys. So I do like that most of the modern bikes now that Triumph are bringing out have a 10,000 mile or 16,000 kilometer service interval, which is pleasant. Most of their bikes now come with a slip and assist clutch, and I find the downshifts really super slick, even so that I don't have to pull the clutch lever all the way in. Little bridge over the canal here, heading up towards Lancaster. Beautiful. What a lovely night. So you've got the corn in the fields just there, and as you can see from the tractor in front, very agricultural area, so you've always got to have your wits about you when you're coming around these lanes, so that one of these babies doesn't pull out in front of you. So what have we got coming on the channel then? In a week's time we have a new addition, actually an extra that I didn't think was coming is coming, and it's the Triumph Tiger 800. So I'm looking forward to getting on some of the adventure bike stuff that Triumph are doing as well. So we've got the Triumph Tiger 800 Sport coming in a week, so we'll get out on that and try and do a little bit of off-roading somewhere, a few trails, and see how that performs. So what's to like about the bike? Well, pretty much everything except for the chrome bits that I'm not keen of. I don't mind the clocks and the headlights surround, but just the indicator stalks and the bars and maybe the mirrors. I don't even mind the exhaust being chrome, actually. But yeah, perfect bike from Triumph. Beautiful to ride the Classic Bonneville range, and I look forward to getting on to the new Speed Twin. If any of you are interested in the Triumph Bobber or the Speedmaster, then let me know, because I can easily get hold of those to test and give you my verdict on. So just leave a comment in the comment section below if you've got any questions on any of the range, and I'm happy to come back to you. So we're going to cut the video there. Sad to see this beauty go, like I say, but anyway, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, then appreciate that subscription and ding that bell for future videos coming up. And if you are a subscriber and you watch all the videos, which I know many of you do every week, so I fully appreciate your support, guys. Yeah, have a good week, and I'll catch you on another video. Take care, guys.